Shabat, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to cook our favorite, or my favorite Shabat meal.
Mm-hmm.
It's chicken that falls off the bone. You barely touch it, and it comes apart. I love chicken that is so tender. So what are we making?
We're making a chicken roast.
A chicken roast in a pot in the oven.
Yep.
It's a set it and forget it.
Mm-hmm. Set it and forget it chicken.
And it smells great.
Mm-hmm.
So join us. This is Barry.
And Beth.
We're Biscuits and Bagels, the blended kitchen. All right, what can I help you do?
All right, now I would like for you to take these, open them, and pat them dry, please.
Okay, I can do that.
I will work on cutting the vegetables.
All right.
When I do roast chicken, I like to use carrots and onions and potatoes usually as the vegetables that go with the chicken. And you can vary that up. Some people put parsnips and just different root vegetables, or it's just whatever you have on hand. Sometimes I don't have potatoes. They don't go in it. But if I don't, I'll let Barry make some rice. Just whatever.
I'm going to put these in the skillet when I'm done.
No, just pat them dry right now.
Where am I going to set them?
Back in there.
Okay.
Just pat the top off. I'm going to go ahead. I like to put a little oil in the pan just to rub it on there so that things don't stick near as bad. This is a cast iron casserole. We debated about what this was called last night. This is a casserole pan. And it is cast iron with some porcelain enamel on the inside. And this is perfect for slow cooking in a regular oven. You could do this in the crock pot, but I don't think it comes out near as nice as it does out of this pan. So I'm going to take my onions, and I've got them halved already. I'm just going to third them and just throw them in. These are for eating and for seasoning. It doesn't have to be fancy.
We've also done it in an earthenware like this.
Yeah.
So we're expecting friends over for Shabbat dinner. But when it's just two of us, we just do it in something like this as well.
Yeah. But there you go. That's going to season and be very, very good once that cooks down. Be really good. I've got 3 potatoes right now, and I'm just going to cut them into cubes. Don't have to be fancy again. Half them, and then cut it into bite-sized pieces, I would say, yeah. And just throw them in. You can even leave the skins on if you want. So I don't mind the skins. They have a lot of the nutrients if you keep them. The only time I peel potatoes is if I'm making cream to mashed potatoes. I don't care for them in my mashed potatoes. But that's about it.
You need more potatoes, or can I put the bag
I think this is a plenty. There's only going to be 5 people eating, so I think this is enough to feed 5. I bought 2 packs of these chicken thighs with the bone in, and I believe there are 4 in each. So that should be plenty, because I know I usually don't eat more than 1. Some people would like 2. My son will probably eat 2. So there we have the potatoes, and now I cut corners, and I got baby carrots. It's just easier. These have been pre-washed, so all I have to do is throw them in.
You can never have too many carrots. If you remember our lamb
roast? Yeah.
Lamb roast.
It's basically the same thing.
Similar.
Just with chicken.
And from the leftovers, make great soup.
Mm-hmm.
Same story. Yeah. All right.
Now I'm going to salt and pepper these while they're on the bottom. Oh, and you know what I need? I need my herb de Provence, if you can find them. Might be right.
Herb de Provence is right here.
And the summertime, if I have fresh herbs, I'll put fresh herbs in here. In the wintertime,
You want a thing of rosemary in there?
no, that'll be enough, I think.
Because I can throw a whole thing in there.
Well, sure. Why not?
I'm
Go
going
out
to
and
get
get
some
it.
from the garden.
I like to use herb de Provence. And many of the spice companies make this blend. This is the one I happen to have. And this one has, will it tell me? No. Yes. Savory, thyme, basil, lavender, and fennel. So you get a nice blend of spices. Just put that on there very liberally. I like to taste it. And those are done. Now I'm going to work on my chicken. And I did all the vegetables first because now I'm going to be putting the chicken on this board. And we shouldn't do it the opposite way. We should do it the way I did it. Because I patted off the chicken, but still. Once you get raw stuff on a cutting board, then that's it. You don't want to use it again. I leave the skin on.
I'm gonna throw some flowers from the basil plant.
Okay. I leave the skin on. Some people take it off, but I leave it on. I think it helps with the flavoring. What I like to do, oop, my hands are dirty now. Will you please get a stick of butter?
A whole stick, or
Yeah, a whole stick.
you can put a whole stick in there?
No.
Do I need to cut it with a knife that wasn't touching chicken or anything?
Well, my knife hadn't touched chicken yet.
Okay.
But to be safe, because I could be you all could tell me if I did or not. Go ahead and get me another knife.
Do you want me to cut it since my hands are pure and clean?
Well, no, because I'm gonna stuff it underneath my chicken, so I might as well do it. Or
I'll cut you little pieces, okay? I got to do something in this video. So I can tell people that I cut
there you go.
the butter slabs. I'm just going to throw them there as I cut them.
Yeah. So I lift up the skin and I just...
Wait. I want to... Before you do the next one, I want to get the camera in front of you. No, go ahead and do that one. You got more to do.
I just tuck some butter up underneath, like that.
Nobody can see from our side.
Okay. This one has a little bit too much skin. Go ahead and use this one. No, I definitely used it. And don't forget, I always put a garbage bag in my sink here for all the garbage that's real close to me. That helps to keep the messies cleared up. Yeah, I just open a pocket, stick some butter in, close that baby back up. Simple. And that's salted butter, by the way.
Put the butter up.
Yep. Put the butter up. And that was what? That was two, maybe some of the big ones have like 2 slices, but the little bitty one only has 1. It's just enough. That butter is going to melt on that chicken and keep it nice and more pepper on top of the chicken. More salt. More herbs. Already looks good, doesn't it? And now I gotta get my chicken broth, which is behind me. I take a shortcut. I buy the box of chicken broth. I don't know if I'm going to use the whole thing or not. We'll see. When this pan is so heavy that I can carry it empty, but once it gets filled, I have to bring in the big dogs to pick it up and move it. So if you fill it up too heavy, it gets pretty heavy pretty quick.
Go for the whole thing.
Probably the whole thing will be. Yeah. So that chicken broth is going to half steam, half roast, and the vegetables are going to cook in it.
That's enough.
That's enough?
Yep.
All those herbs are going to just mix in there. And there we go. That's what we have before we put it in. Now I set the oven. Chicken doesn't take as long to cook as a big old beef or lamb roast. I still put it on 250 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's going to slow cook. Usually if you cook chicken thighs at a higher temperature like 350, it's going to be 30 to 40, 35, 40 minutes and they'll be done. But this I'm going to keep in for at least 3 hours, 3.5, maybe 4. We'll just check it a couple of times, open the lid and make sure it has enough liquid. But again, like I said, it is a leave it alone dish. Other than that, we don't want to mess with it. We don't want to really lift that lid too much. We don't want any of that steam escaping. We're just going to kind of keep it happy in its own little whirl cooking. And so we'll get back to you after it's done.
We'll be back in 2 and 2. Shalom. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, look how much. It almost double the amount of liquid, which I don't feel bad about.
Nope.
It pulls apart very nice.
Yep.
This is perfect. So, our flour. Basil flour.
The aroma that's coming off of this pan is delicious.
Got a little bit of onion.
A little bit of onion, little taters, little carrots, a piece of chicken.
Okay. To give us room, I'm going to go set this back.
And tonight, so he hasn't made it yet, Barry's going to make cornbread. And I'll add something else to the meal. Just kind of round it out with an extra side.
We might go ahead and make the cornbread right now after this.
Yeah.
So, pull this apart. You see how it just comes apart without any any fuss or muss.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Right?
Okay.
Let's cut some potato apart.
Okay.
So it cools down also. Potatoes could use a little bit longer, maybe a tiny bit, not much.
Maybe.
By the time everybody arrives,
Yeah,
this will be
it'll
perfect.
still keep cooking a little bit while it's warming down.
Okay, I'm going to try the chicken.
Cooling down, warming down.
Preparam. Tastes good.
The carrots are real nice.
Needs more salt.
Does need a little bit more salt, but
You can always add that at
that's
the
good
end.
because then people can season it to their taste and it won't be overly salty.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be there, Barry.
It is. All right. So,
Yay!
To make room to cook.
We used to get cornmeal from East Tennessee when Barry's grandmother was alive. She had a particular brand that it's the only brand she'd use.
You have regular oil somewhere?
No,
Just olive oil?
I've just got olive oil. Anyway, we used to get our cornmeal from East Tennessee from Barry's grandma. She had a brand that only she used, and that was the brand she used. For a long time, she would buy bags and save one for us. I can't even remember the name of it now, but it was ground up there in East Tennessee. Well, we're not able to get that anymore, but when we go back to my home place in Virginia, just over the border is a little grist mill they call it the Old Mill of Guilford. But anyway, every time we go home, we go up to the old mill at Guilford and we get at least one bag of cornmeal. And this is plain. It's not self-rising. It doesn't have anything else added to it. It's just plain old cornmeal. And they also have flour, pancake mix, muffin mix, scones, just all kinds of stuff. It's a really neat place.
So I put enough oil in here to cover the bottom. We'll put a little bit more.
Yeah.
And we'll stick it in the oven.
Yes.
We want this puppy to get hot.
Yes.
Put all this oil hot. So when we pour that cornmeal and buttermilk in here, that's all it is.
Yeah, it's going to start cooking.
It's going to start cooking, and it's going to create a nice crust inside. Buttermilk, oil, and cornmeal.
Yep.
That's all it takes. $4.25 for 20 minutes. It says so in the bag.
But Southern cooks do use shortening. They would do shortening in that pan instead of the olive oil that Barry put in.
Look how pretty that is. You see the yellow? It's a little bit rough. 1 cup. And then when I do I don't do it exactly. I do it by feeling on that's a little bit too much.
Yeah, that's more than a cup.
But on the yogurt part, not yogurt,
Buttermilk.
the buttermilk.
You see what he did that he wasn't supposed to do? He measured dry in a liquid.
I know exactly what I'm doing. This was on purpose. It doesn't matter. I just need to get a rough idea because it's going into a skillet. Give you a job to do here in just a second.
I'm going to go put it back up.
And I got pictures of this mill. I'm going to add it to our...
And if you blink going down this, because it's down a real steep
hill,
if you blink, you'll miss it. You got to know exactly where it is or you'll just fly right by it.
1 cup. I'll do about half a cup more to begin with and stir if I get the consistency that I want out of this. About 1.5 cups is right.
Did you use 1.5 cups?
Yeah, not 2. 1.5 cups of buttermilk.
My mama does hers different, I believe. And she's going to be looking at the screen going, no, that's not what I do. But I do believe she uses self-rising cornmeal.
Yeah, she does, but this is good enough.
And she might put an egg in it. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've watched her do it.
One thing you don't do is put sugar.
No.
That's Yankee.
That's Yankee. Don't put sugar in that cornbread. I flat out, what they say, runt it.
All right.
You know, folks back in the mountains, they didn't have sugar. It was really expensive. They didn't waste their sugar on putting it in bread.
Cornbread, the way you eat it, is you take this corn, when it comes out, you can either turn it upside down on a plate and cut it in squares like a pie.
Yeah.
And you can slice it in half. You put butter in it. Very, very good.
Or, as the old timers did,
Break it apart.
they broke it apart. They put it in a glass jelly jar. That's what people drank out of. They put it in a tall jelly jar, crumbled it up, and poured buttermilk over top of it. And that's how they would eat their cornbread.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that's old time.
So what we're doing is we're waiting for that stove to reach 425. At the same time, the skillet's heating up.
That's right.
The oil's heating up. And then we take it out and pour it in there and let it cook for 20 minutes. See all that oil?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what you want.
See all the steam coming up. And now listen.
It's pointing on it, yeah. You want it closer?
No.
And that bread is going to lap up that oil. This bread's not going to be greasy at all. You're going to put it in for 20 minutes, you said?
Yep.
Is it ready?
Well, we got to test it if it's ready. I think it is. Nothing's coming out dirty.
Okay.
That's usually how I test it.
You close the oven door.
I'll close the oven. Welcome back. You poke it a knife or a fork or a toothpick, if it comes out clean, then you're in good shape. No, but this is going to be interesting, I think. Don't want to burn myself. It feels hot.
It's a strange...
It's looking strange, isn't it?
Looking a little strange. See, not everything turns out 100%. I don't know.
I'm not sure. This is not
That's
done.
not done.
It's not done.
No.
But doesn't it look strange either way?
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts?
I'm not a cornbread expert. I think my
We never
Uncle
had
Jan is.
We never had this happen before, have we?
It could be the pan.
Could be the pan.
Could always try it again, and the normal one you use. Put it back in there with it cut off. Let's see if it'll come.
Let's give it another 10 minutes off and see what happens.
It's certainly dense. That's why some people put eggs in it, is to, expand it.
We will be back in about 10 minutes. Bye. Either it's a success or a successful failure.
Yeah.